So football is finally back. Fun game. Let's just get into it. Yeah, so pretty fun game, I thought. Again, not exactly a close game. I wasn't really expecting one. A lot of what worked for Kansas City was that actually I think one of the biggest plays for the Chiefs on offense was actually an incomplete pass. And it was this play right here, the one you see on your screen. So it's going to be a cover one play. It's man coverage. And you're going to see that there are two routes running over the middle. It's Hill's route. That's the one that's cutting over. And that's going to be actually the one that's over the middle. And then you have Demarcus Robinson. He's the one on the outside. And so basically the way this is going to work for Kansas City is that it's man coverage. It's one-on-one matchups, but of course there's a safety deep. But since Hill is going to take away the safety, it's basically just going to be a one-on-one matchup on the outside. And they like Robinson's chances against Reed. And for good reason, because once this ball is snapped, you notice that Robinson is definitely significantly open. He's going up against Reed, who's a really good safety, but, he's a safety, not a corner. This is an advantage for Kansas City. This is one of the biggest things we talked about heading into this game is Houston going to have sort of the defensive back depth to keep up with the many Kansas City receivers. They really struggled with that in the postseason, and they're struggling with that here. Again, Reed's a good he's a good secondary player. He's just not necessarily a great cover corner because he's not a corner. Now, Mahomes maybe undershoots this a little. Really, Reed just did a great job of getting his hand in there and making the play. So, he might have given up some separation, but he shows why he is a great safety by finishing off that play, knocks it out. But I think this was kind of a warning sign for Houston. I think they said, okay, we can't be doing this too often. This was actually the first time they played man with a single safety deep. And it wasn't the last time, but it was pretty close. They pretty much did not do this again because this is what really burned them into postseason. It was a lot of either zone coverage, cover 3, or cover 2. That's really what they were doing. This is kind of an example of then how Kansas City was able to attack them. Where on one hand, this is an end zone situation, so of course you're not going to be as, it's a completely different situation. But I'm just kind of using this as an example of what would happen. This will give you a better camera angle than trying to just look at a play in the middle of the field because they don't really show the safeties too much. But basically how this is working for Kansas City is it's going to be zone coverage. And so what they can do is they're going to have Kelsey run deep, not too deep, but sort of run towards the goal line. And then they're going to have a couple receivers just sort of run shallow routes. Mahomes is going to hit Watkins, who's going to then try to run in. And the goal on display isn't to get a touchdown. It's to get the ball inside the 5. You can probably gain about 7 yards, and it sets up a second down and goal. And as you see, you're going to notice that Watkins is, he's easily able to make the catch. The play works out. You now have another receiver who can block a Houston player. And now Watkins is able to run over. He dives, almost gets in, gets rolled down just short. But again, that's kind of what you can do is sort of, if there is zone coverage, you can now run zone busters. And they have a lot of really good receivers. So running zone busters is very easy for Kansas City to do. Another thing they did well was something like this, where this is going to be single safety deep man coverage. Although, again, we're talking inside the 20-yard line here. So a bit different than if it was, they would do this a bit more in the red zone, but they would almost never do this except for that one play I showed you in the middle of the field. But anyways, what's going to happen is that Kansas City, again, there's a bit to keep track of here, but you want to see the white route that's going over the middle, and then there's a Houston player who I've circled in white as well. They're going over the middle, and the reason why this is so important is because of all that chaos going on over the middle. There's another Houston player in coverage. There's going to be several other Kansas City players who are running deep, but still running over the middle. So this is going to make it very difficult for that Houston defender to make sure that he's able to keep pace. And you notice how open you're going to see Robinson right here. So he is able to get a ton of separation just because of all that chaos over in the middle, and he's basically already at the first down marker with plenty of room in between, and he's able to actually even break a tackle. Just a really good play design more than anything. In my opinion, that's a lot of what this game was. It wasn't always them necessarily, beating them so much with talent. It was a lot of play design. But the reason why they were beating them with play design was because Houston was making sure that they did not get beat deep. One thing that they also tried to do, there was one other key thing that Houston was trying, and that was blitzing. They needed pressure on Mahomes. They really did, because this is obviously you need pressure on Mahomes, but it also worked out very well on that opening drive. So if you remember the opening drive, there was a touchdown, it gets called back, and then there was a sack right after that, and that was on a blitz. It was on a 5-man rush. And so Houston tried to sprinkle some more of those blitzes in, but it really did not work. They tried a few in the second half, and it really backfired in a big way. This is an example. So similar to what I'm talking about, single safety deep, man coverage, but it's a blitz this time. So you're going to have 5 men rush the passer. So, only 5 offensive linemen, 5 people rush the passer. This is often a good thing for a defensive line. But the problem is going to be that the pressure isn't really able to get there. And Mahomes gets rid of the ball so quickly. Tyreek Hill got open so quickly, and he just got open by, running quickly. That's all that was. So it was just a very easy thing for him to do. When you have someone like Hill who can get open so quickly, having him have a one-on-one matchup, it doesn't really matter if you are blitzing because he can still just, get open with such ease. Like, watch, this one's another one. This one's a great example where it's a 3rd down and goal. Houston had just stopped Kansas City on back-to-back running plays, so you got to figure a passing play is coming here, and they're sending the house. It's cover 0. 6 men are going to rush the passer, and so, if 5 people rush the passer, that means it's one-on-one matchups all around. But if 6 do, that means that a defender should get a straight shot to Mahomes. He shouldn't even have to worry about a Kansas City player blocking him, and there still are one-on-one matchups across the board. So great opportunity to get pressure immediately here, and there is going to be pressure immediately. Of course, the flip side is, once again, you have Tyreek Hill, who has a one-on-one matchup, but he's going up against Roby, who I do think that Houston trusts in a one-on-one situation. He's a good corner. He really is, but he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill. And so watch how Tyreek Hill, he can avoid contact by moving laterally right at the line, and he just outruns Roby. And for Mahomes, all he has to do is run back a little bit. Hill's going to get open in a couple seconds. And again, that's the kind of thing for Houston. Really, what are you supposed to do? If you have someone like Hill that can get open so quickly that even if you get immediate pressure, he's still able to get a touchdown, it's really hard to counteract that. You can double him, but again, they have so many weapons. It's just a tough situation to go against Kansas City. I actually thought Houston kind of had the right game plan to some degree of let's keep everything in front of us. Let's try to not allow them to have too many drives. Let's see if maybe we can get a mistake or two, which, didn't work out, but it wasn't a terrible game plan, I think. I think you could also argue that a big part of why this didn't work was just because Houston's offense really was not able to get anything going, and that led to a Kansas City victory. Listen, I hate to say I told you so, but this is exactly how I expected this game to go. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about the offense for Kansas City. It's not really all I have to say. I didn't even mention CEH, who was electric in this game. So there's definitely plenty I could talk about. I think I'm going to make a video talking about David Johnson as well. He looked very good out there, although, not quite DeAndre Hopkins good. And of course, Sunday at midnight Eastern, right after the Sunday Night Football game, Kyle and I will be live with another edition of the On the Sideline podcast. So check that one out. You definitely, come in, say hi. It was very fun to do our first live show last week. We're looking forward to doing another one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Football is back. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.